is said that the best way to convey an idea is tell the story from which it was realized. Hence, to whom it may concern, this journal is to be seen as a warning against man's conquest. Even though the concept of a new achievement is each more enticing than the last, I assure you, there's a line. I know this because I crossed it years ago. Ever since, I have paid for it dearly. Even now, I am trapped by my own doing. Back then, it was me, my brother, and his soon-to-be bride. We were young and happy. I was prematurely bestowed the title of an established man in science, and had all the arrogance that came without the wisdom of time. My brother had the wisdom I lacked. He knew life, and then knew death. He passed too early. In fact, I took excessively close to heart, and it drove me to have my brother's beating again. I cursed God for his rules of life, and I desired to break them. I will not explain the journey to completion, for that I've already ridden and burned with good reason. All there is to share at this endeavor that my success was a failure. I did bring back my brother's body, but I soon realized it was not my brother. The creature I had created was hardly a man at all. He was something unholy. I had battled God, and I was not the victor. After I came to my senses and disposed of the creature, I fell upon the only friend I had, my brother's bride. We shared feelings of distraught, and it brought us closer. She eventually became mine. I know it was wrong, but it was love, even if it wasn't for each other. I thought I could be happy again with her. Yet now here I sit, far from and alone. Years later, I was robbed of various equipment and scientific journals in the night. Ultimately, it became clear that someone else was trying to recreate my failure. They had all that they could need except for my mind. So I planned what to do when they came for me. And when the time came, I left my bride in fear for safety and began to travel. I am a scientist, not a master strategist, and though I was able to chase down the man who stalked me, it was his trap, not mine. I was led to the Arctic, where he revealed himself to me. He talked of the creature and how it was more resilient than I had imagined. It strived on, and attempted to live with others, learning bits and pieces of civilization. But he was shunned and began to curse humanity. In solitude, he became enlightened, reading all of the literature available. It brought him to a conclusion. I interrupted him, for it was apparent to me that my stalker was in fact the creature he spoke of. I was bewildered and fearful. Though his identity had changed, the motives I thought of him did not. He wanted his creator to agree, punished me for all the unnatural hatred by forcing me to do what I swore against. My paintbrushes were made ready, but I required a canvas. Hence, as God's last scar upon my soul, the creature presented the bride. Once she belonged to me. She belonged to my brother, and now she was dead. If I continued, she would be the creature's. In my grief, I saw, just for a moment, a vision of what it could be. My brother and his brides together again. Macabre as it was, it felt right. But I had learned my lesson. The creature is not my brother. My brother is dead. Our bride is dead. And in order to stop the creature, I must join them. I must join God.
Who's there?
I mean no harm.
You're the doctor's creature. I read his journal.
I see.
What are you doing with his body?
He deserves more than snowfall to bury him.
That's awfully noble of you. The doctor noted your feelings were quite negative towards him.
It is true. I carried anger with me like you and your torch. Nevertheless, I had great capacity for love too. When I could not satisfy one aspect, I indulged in the other.
But now?
Without hope for love, I can't feel hate for this man. I hated that he wouldn't do what he was responsible for. I was the atom of his labors, and I deserved my Eve. A chance for happiness. Rather, he made me more like the fallen angel. But with my creator gone, my hatred falls only upon me for what I have done. And I am alone.
You don't have to be. There's bound to be someone out there that can accept you.
Accept me? Really?
My God.
Mine's dead. There's nothing for me here.
What are you gonna do?
I will die with my creator, by fire. It's the only way.
But why? Don't you see you're free? Your creator's dead and you don't have to worry about anyone else like the rest of us. You can be whatever you're capable of. An artist? A writer? You still have your whole life ahead of you.
What is worth having with no one to share it with?
What about dreams?
Dreams require hope.